Mic check, mic check. Someone said, please do this every day. Yeah, I would, but when I run the higher Spartan class, I don't have the time. So that's why we didn't do it last week. Okay. This is just going to be a really raw session to show you I have not built out the watch list yet. It's still pretty early. But we're going to do our best to go through everything together and see what's presenting opportunity and what's not. This is pretty messy from my notes from yesterday, so I'm just going to clean this up. So what we'll do is start with the focus list that I put out, and we'll go 5-minute time frame and start our analysis there. This resistance here looks pretty clear to me at 646. So 646.5 is not far off, and that's the true higher high from the recent run that SPY made. On the daily, that would also be our all-time highs, so it does make sense to say SPY long above 646.50. Now, the short level gets kind of tricky because well, there's support below, right? So like the overwhelming support would be 641. That makes a lot of sense to me. But setting a level that far away on SPY doesn't make sense because I feel like that would be out of play. So one thing I like to do, if that's the case, because we are being aggressive with the long trigger, we go more conservative with the short here. That'll still give us profit margin down to 641, but able to take the move a little earlier, or take the entry a little earlier. So maybe like, let's see, 643.5. Could that, actually, that's not a bad level either. I kind of like that because it's going off of this level of support, resistance, and then resistance that flips support again. That's pretty good, actually. So we'll go 643.5, 646.5. Can I go over Apple? Okay. You said it has a downtrend trend line break on the daily. Yeah, I like it. There's a couple of ways that you could look at this. Potentially, this could be a bull flag, but usually with a bull flag, you don't just get red candles. You usually have like back and forth motion, right? So like that could be a bull flag, and we can draw it to make look like it's breaking out already. Or one of my rules is when you're using that trend line break strategy, you've got to connect the first rally. So you connect the peak to the first rally. Well, this is the first rally, isn't it? So we don't know what the peak here could be. So to say that this is breaking the downtrend trend line, like I get it. I see what you're going off of. Like, yeah, we can draw that line to make it look like it's breaking the downtrend trend line, or we could draw it to make it look like it's not. So you got to really be careful with these trend lines because they can be subjective. And then the big grand scheme of things, right? Like now that looks like a bull flag when we zoom out. I mean, that looks amazing. That looks really good. But as far as this breaking out of this bull flag, this little mini one here, I don't know that that's the case. But it may not be a bad idea to just look for higher highs. I mean, that has been the trend. So regardless of if we think it's going to break out or not, we could just look for higher highs. The price action here seemed pretty clean, but you do get runs. So here's a run up that sold, run up that sold, a run up that sold, and then a drop that reversed. So there's a lot of reversals here. But yeah, looking to take that long, maybe above 230 couldn't hurt. And if you want, actually what we'll do is just add that as a side chart. I don't know that Apple's going to be my immediate watch, but the trend has been higher highs, and so one way to increase your chances of being profitable on a trade is to just trade with the direction it's already moving, which is it's making higher highs, right? So we go long. Taking it short, I don't think it's not very clear where we would go short. So like a break of the uptrend trend line would be a little better, but I mean that doesn't happen for a while, right? Okay, back to our, where is it here? Focus list. Tesla, next one. Tesla's easy. We're just going to be looking for a continuation. So it's just going to be higher highs. That's it. There's no short level to be set here. Tesla's, it's one of those names. Once it gets momentum in it, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see this sitting at like 400 here soon. I really wouldn't. Once it gets momentum behind it, Tesla just tends to continue to run and run and run and run and run. We know this, right? So yeah, to break out of this structure on the daily, we're just looking for higher highs. Tesla long above 354. And for the notes, we're just going to say on watch for higher highs following the break out of the pattern. What do we call that pattern? Like a pennant maybe? Of the pennant pattern on the daily time frame. You said Boeing has a bull pennant. What time frame? What time frame do you see that bull pennant at on Boeing? It's actually on our focus list. I mean, we'll get to it in a second. But what time frame do you see the pennant? Or yeah, bull pennant. All right, Amazon. I like this just because I know it faked out here. It didn't really give us much profit there, but I do like this because it's I mean it's consolidating at resistance, right? And you can't ask for much of a cleaner line of resistance established than 229 and 229.5. And we zoom out, I mean, this makes a lot of sense why this would be on the watch list, right? So Amazon, it's easy. We're not looking to take this short, long over 229.5. And we'll say for the notes, on watch for a break of the resistance over the past, what is that, 1, 2, 3? 3 trading days. That's it. You know, you don't have to complicate your analysis. This is as simple as it gets. I mean, you got a stock that ran, that hit resistance 2 times following the run, 3rd time in the pre-market, and like you just set one line of resistance and you look for a break of resistance. Like this is as easy as it gets. And if you think that this is too easy, don't. Sometimes when you do really simple analysis, it's the best. Okay, next one on our focus list is Boeing. Boeing's an up-gapper this morning, so our resistance is placed at 237. It's a continuation move up following the move up from yesterday. You said that this is a bull pennant here on the daily. You are correct. I do see the bull pennant. So there's your pennant. There's the bullish part of it, the trend leading up into it. The up-gapper this morning gives us a higher high, so you know with a break of a bull pennant, your confirmation is going to be a higher high. This is actually exactly why this is on the focus list. So you're 100% right. So you got a high, then a lower high, right? And then a lower high. Well, your break of the bull pennant is going to be a higher high established. Well, with the gap up this morning, it's opening at 237, which is, guess what? A higher high. So the big question going into today for Boeing is, will this continue to run or will it reject at 236.5, 237, wherever it's at right now? Because it is resistance, right? Like this could easily reject. So don't get your hopes up too much. But yeah, this is a great setup. It's already on the focus list. Fantastic pick. And then your profit margin would be from 237, which is basically where it's at now, up to the peak of the bull pennant, which is over here, 242.5. So your profit margin is about 2.5%. So 5-minute time frame, yeah, that's all we're looking for. Boeing, I'm just going to set this maybe as a side chart for right now, though. Because we might have something that offers a little cleaner contracts. Boeing is notorious for not having really, really solid contract selection, meaning like wider spreads sometimes. Mainly that's the issue, wider spreads, sometimes lower open interest. But with a breakout like this starting to happen, I would imagine the volume would increase today if this is truly to go, which might mean tighter spreads, higher open interest. All right, Meta, next one on the list. So same thing on Meta that we see on Amazon, which is basically just 3 days of resistance being established at 756, roughly. It's not perfect. but you get the idea. This is also going to be a side chart, I think. With the deal with Meta and Amazon is that they look so similar, they might move similarly today, and I don't want to have too many of the same looking setups on the watch list. So these side charts that I'm setting right now are just basically placeholders, and if I find something better, I will replace one of these or two of those or all of them if I feel like it. Google is the next one on the focus list. So Google, I only really wanted to see an all-time high test or attempt out of this. I don't want to eat my words here, but I don't think that it's going to be likely today. I don't feel like Google gets to 210.5 and continues to run. Or if it does, chances are buyers are probably going to be exhausted, and it might go a little further, maybe, but I don't think it'll go much beyond. So Google, I'm not going to put it on the list today. It's just I don't feel that it's ready yet. And then the last one was Microsoft, wasn't it? Yeah, so Microsoft was our hedge play short idea from yesterday, which faked us out initially but did work eventually. It was a short idea under 503, and I guess the better level here might have just been short under 502. But yeah, here's your drop under 500. I included it on the watch list for a continuation sell-off. However, it has since recovered the sell-off and gapped up. So it's no longer really in play for lower lows, because I would only be looking for a break of 498.5, not 501 or 502 or 500. I just would want to only see lower lows out of this. It's pretty far away from that trade price right now, so I remove it from the watch list. So right now, here's what our list looks like, and we might move one of these up here if we don't find anything better. But we're not done yet. Let's go through and look and see, is there anything else? So UNH actually had a sell-off at the end of day yesterday. Excuse me. And it is trading just above a gap area on the daily, and a fairly large one at that. Your percentage profit inside of this gap is about 7.5%, a little over it. So there's plenty of gap to be filled. The question is, because it's at the 300 whole number, the question is it worth it to put it on the list today? The gap is still 1.6% away. Or do we just let this sell off today and then try to trade it into the gap going into tomorrow? I think the better setup for, well, dang, that news is fresh. Let's set alerts on this at or below 295. I don't think it hurts to put it on the side chart list, but this is totally like a C setup. This is not an A setup. Let's go UNH below 295. What makes this not a good setup right now is that it's not trading right here, right? Because then if it was here, all we have to look for, boom, break of support and just sell it. But from here, it's a little tougher because now we got to break this support at the pre-market low. We got to break this support of the top side of the gap, and then the support of yesterday's low of day, and then continue to sell for us to profit. And it's like, you know, that's a lot of support to be broken. But the sell-off yesterday was pretty big, pretty aggressive. So maybe this has a chance. And that's the only reason I'm putting it on the list, because of that sell-off from yesterday's end of day. So we'll say UNH under 295. If we find something better, that's probably going to be the first one that gets replaced. And now I'm just scrolling through a list of stocks, looking for anything out of the ordinary in the pre-market. So anything that's gapped up that I might have missed, anything that's gapped down that I might have missed. You've got NVIDIA this morning with earnings coming, gapped up this morning, but with earnings coming up this afternoon. This is the biggest event of the week, and this is a huge event. NVIDIA, one of the biggest names right now in the trading community and even outside of the trading community, with everything that's going on with AI, and then you've got these tariffs affecting it, and you've got this whole like AI tech bubble type thing forming. And so if NVIDIA doesn't do well, like this could possibly be the start of a downturn. We'll have to see. I mean, this is really big news this afternoon. So I'm not putting that on the watch list at all, but just something to pay attention to this afternoon. PayPal gap down. Let's see why. Following report, gap down following report that German banks are blocking payments due to a technical issue. See that? I mean, that's not that, like, if it's just a technical issue, I'm sure they're going to get that resolved and this is going to go right back up. So that news to me is not that significant. They're not going to, due to a technical issue, they're not going to stay down forever, right? Unless German banks are totally kicking PayPal out of the payment system. That was Amazon. So OKTA gapped up on earnings, but that's not a really popular name, so we're not going to trade that. Ooh, AMD. The run to 169 yesterday was pretty nice, but it couldn't, I mean, it didn't do anything. But it's still up here at this resistance point, and on the daily, you know what? Actually, no. I'm going to leave this alone because NVIDIA has earnings this afternoon. I was just talking about how significant of an event that is, and that's true. And AMD falls in the same category with NVIDIA, so we just probably are going to leave that alone until after the earnings report. Okay, Boeing. Yep, we already talked about that one. You see this? Look at how different this chart looks versus this one. You see all these like I mean, it looks like binary code, doesn't it? 0 1 1 1 0 0. This is algorithmic trading right here. This is all algorithm. Just so you know how to recognize it. Or if you see things like let me see if I can find it. Something like this. So this is the 5-minute time frame for snow. If you see gaps on the 5-minute time frame, or you see doji candles like this on the 5-minute time frame, it's algorithmic. It's algorithmic trading. It means there's not a lot of retail volume. Those are stocks you want to stay away from if you're day trading. Something like this, right? Look at all these little. I actually don't know if that's even available for options trading or yeah. But anyways, it's just a sign like how you. Oh, yeah, PLTR with a gap up. It's just a sign on how you can identify it. I don't know if I'm going to put PLTR on the list. I know it had a gap up this morning, but I'm not seeing. Okay, so it looks like Jim Cramer, Palantir, what is this? Sees Palantir riding MongoDB's momentum, sets bold 24% upside target. Okay, so is it up on Cramer said something or? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to leave it alone. I know it's an up gap, but I don't need to put every single up gap on the watch list, right? So I think that we're probably going to leave that one alone and move on. And again, I think, with like the big tech earnings NVIDIA earnings this afternoon, probably want to stay away from stocks today that could be around that. So it seems like somebody said it's up in sympathy with MDB, which maybe is true, but even on the daily for PLTR, I don't see anything there that's high probability to me. So I'm going to leave that alone. DJT with the gap down. You said, why the 5 minute? Is it the same for the 30 minutes or the 1 hour? Because for day trading, you want a lot of volume, right? And you want big moves. When you have algorithmic trading and you're day trading and you're getting gaps on the chart, or you're getting no price action or no movement on the chart, aka those doji candles, every 5 minutes, it's no good. That means you don't have enough volume there to really be day trading that. I mean, you can day trade stuff like that, but you're trading against algos, and they're not really predictable. Humans are predictable, right? That's why patterns exist. That's why patterns work. That's why we can do technical analysis, because we can expect to see, or we can expect people to react a certain way when they see certain confirmations. That's why patterns and trading against retail traders work. You don't see that when you're trading against algos. It's not as clear, right? Those are not as predictable. They're faster than us. They're smarter than us. Why even battle against them? Why even trade against those? Okay, so I think that's it. This is gonna be our watch list. So let's go through and edit this up some. So UNH can stay. I don't think it does any harm to leave it on the list. It's just going to be like a lower quality setup. Meta can stay over 756 as a side chart. Boeing, I think we move to the main chart list. This is a pretty good one. Originally, I said that the contracts here were not the best on Boeing, and that's typically true, but this is seeming to be a day where we might have an exceptional day on Boeing, maybe, possibly, with the breakout of this structure. And also, it just looks better than the 3 other side chart items. So I like Boeing. I like the setup on Boeing over all of those. So Boeing moves to the main chart. Boeing over 237. And then we'll say following the gap up this morning, we're looking for a break of the bull pennant on the daily and the run to the 52-week highs. So following the gap up this morning, we are looking for a continuation run to break the bull pennant on the daily and move towards 52-week highs. 52-week highs. That'll work. Okay, that's it. Oh, wait, no. Let's review the other ones. We got Amazon, Tesla, and SPY. So Amazon over 229.5 looks good. This might be our top pick of the day. Tesla over 354 looks good. This one also might be. It's between Amazon and Tesla. Tesla's been a runner over the past couple of days, and we know that it can continue to run. Amazon has not been a runner yet. Not yet, not recently, not in the past couple of trading days. So we're looking for the break of that resistance. So they are different setups in that to that degree, but both of them look pretty good. And then SPY will be looking for new all-time highs. Can we get it today? I don't know. So that'll be the big question. Okay, with NVIDIA reporting earnings this week, don't underestimate how huge that is. When you have looming news like that, you do tend to see a hesitant market. That possibly might be why SPY has been so in the morning sessions. Look at this opening price action here. This is from 2 days ago. That's horrible. Horrible. I know it gives you direction, but even with giving you direction, it's still up and down at some point. Up and down, up and down, up and down. That's what all those wicks represent. And then it goes up and then it comes down. And then yesterday's opening price action, probably even worse, right? This is so bad. So don't underestimate big tech earnings this afternoon with NVIDIA and how massive of an impact that might have on the overall market. When you have news, traders tend to not want to really reposition because they're waiting for the news to come out before they make their moves. So I would say expect to see a market the same that we've seen the past 2 days. And I hate to say that, but it's just the truth. I would expect to see chop early on. I'd be fairly surprised if we got any sort of mega directional move, though it might happen. All right. Top pick of the day, it's going to be a toss-up between Amazon and Tesla. Both of those look pretty good. Okay. That's going to wrap up the stream for this morning. Don't leave yet because I'm going to tell you how to navigate to the live trading for the day. So how you're going to get there. In the Discord server, scroll down to the bottom left-hand side of the screen. You're going to see a channel called the Voice Channels. Make sure that heading is expanded. The Arena. That is where we will conduct the live trading. So if you'd like to trade live with me, that's where it will be held, not right here on YouTube and not on this stream. We're pretty early, so I'll probably be there in like 25 or 30 minutes. I'll probably meet you over there in about 25 or 30 minutes. All right, good luck today. Trade safe, trade smart, trade your plan. Hope you make some money. Hope this analysis helped, and we'll see you over in the live trading. Thank you for your time, everybody. Cheers.